We're finally done with the library, and we're starting part 14.
Oh, thank
Combat
God.
Evolved. And Spark found his voice again. After losing it at the end of the library for an unknown reason.
No, nothing.
So, knowing us, I'll bring this up now, so maybe we might actually do it by the time we finish. We should probably begin wrapping up our final opinions for both Combat Evolved and its anniversary remake.
Oh, we should.
But there is something I want to point out for this cutscene, so we won't get into that for till it's done. But instead of watching it, we should still say something. Oh, great, we've got Cortana again. That should keep us entertained. The last time, oh no, actually we still have to see Cortana one more time after this. Odd. He seems really. There she is.
Time for.
Oh, we're not bringing this again, are we?
Oh no, just that one time.
Yeah, we know they. It's not insane.
Oh, that.
He's your pal. Is he your chum? Do you have any idea what that bastard almost made you do?
Yes.
Activate Halo's defense.
She's so nonchalant about it, and the assault rifle's clipping through its chest plate.
You mean this?
A construct in the core? That is absolutely unacceptable.
Would that be?
Sod off.
I guess she's British.
I shall break
Apparently.
your guts.
Apparently, they did want her to do a British accent at one point, so they just left that line as a holdover.
Do what?
I just realized
You can just
those two are having an argument, but the
Enough.
Now settle down, children.
The
You.
fire is spreading. If we activate Halo's
you
defense,
sync up your lip and your voice.
You have
And
no
you.
idea how this ring works, do you?
Wait, who's who? We know Cortana, but who is the other who?
Doesn't kill
Oh, Guilty Spark.
Oh, what's his problem?
humans, covenant, whatever. We're all equal.
Except for you, Cortana. I don't see why you're all pissy.
Stop the flood is to starve them to death. And that's exactly
There's another thing. Here, more plot holes, I guess.
Alright.
Cortana implied that it's only key to kill anything except Flood. But later they just say, no, it wipes out everything.
And you.
And we just reseed. Okay, this is the part. Once I keep bringing this up again and again. So either they've retconned, or they're just, or 343 is Guilty Spark is just insane and demented.
I think he's just dumb. You know, tries to act smart.
Well, a lot of his lines coming up right here seem to imply, once again, that he thinks Chief is a Forerunner. Because he keeps speaking in the past tense,
Picking up movement.
Why would you hesitate to do what you've already
like
done?
that.
We need to go right now.
Last time you
Chief, whoa.
if it were my
Where'd your buddies come from?
And this line,
considerable
Alright, let's go, Cortana. It's time to kick ass and chew bubblegum. And I can't chew gum.
yeah, the helmet's in the way. Where's our emergency induction port?
Of here.
It's a little latch on top of his head.
Okay. Anyway, so I guess we're gonna go talk a little more lore and plot holes for a moment.
that's not.
So,
so be it. Save his
I gotta collect my thoughts. A couple of those lines you can explain away in retrospect, but the one that's the most difficult is when he tells Chief that last time you asked him if it were my choice, what would I do with it? Referring obviously to the firing of a Halo ring.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Chief hasn't asked him about firing a Halo ring previously.
Yeah.
So
We have to stop him. We have to destroy.
that's a little hard to explain away without Spark thinking literally you are like somebody else. I don't know who he'd be referring to by that line anyway. But considering how a lot of the terminals in the anniversary cover sort of the history of Spark on the ring, they do show that quite clearly that he goes insane.
Yeah.
One of them's like, if I had been in charge, I would have done a few things differently. First of all, I would have installed 2 caretakers on each ring. Because one of the
I just
videos, I think one of the things is, titled "Who Monitors the Monitor?"
Who monitors the monitor?
Well,
Why,
really,
the viewer, of course. And I would realize that entire cutscene, Chief was using an assault rifle, but now he's got a shotgun and a plasma pistol.
yeah, because he's got an
Before-
assault rifle in every cutscene.
Ah,
Same thing in Halo 3. The weapon used in the cutscene is always predetermined. It doesn't include what you have. Only Halo 2 is like that. They probably got rid of it because half the weapons would clip through.
yeah.
Like the one I would know best is the second to last Arbiter level when he comes out and our good friend drives the Wraith tank up and he's like, "Ah, good to see you." He holds out whatever weapon you had equipped, and you can find
Yeah.
a human rocket launcher, so the back end of it just goes straight through his arm.
Arbiter, how can you defy such physics?
It only makes sense if he was wielding a plasma rifle. The carbine works too, but it just doesn't look right, him holding a carbine with one hand. I mean, it is
Yeah.
the Arbiter, but even elites aren't quite that boss.
No, they aren't.
I mean, unless they're on the back of the mongoose. Then they kind of have to.
Oh yeah. And the fact that when they're on the back of the mongoose, they kind of tend to try to nibble on your marines' heads or your head.
It's because they're It's because they're hunched over to better fit. I guess the Halo 2 elites were hunched over too. Halo 1 and the Halo 4. It was actually, I just keep going backwards and forwards. The 2
Yeah,
and
Halo-
3 elites were both hunched over so that they could be closer in size to the Spartan models for multiplayer, instead of designing different models for campaign and multiplayer.
But then they did it pretty awesome, like in Reach.
And yeah, then they made them fully upright again in Reach because they were interchangeable. It was only elites and Spartans in a certain game type, so that they could make them stand upright.
I miss being an elite, and I miss the way the elites looked in Halo Reach. Halo 4, they kind of look like
Yeah, I
evil
know.
Halo.
Either you don't like them at all, and I just don't really. I'm not much of a fan of the armor.
No.
I'm just not a fan of the armor.
Hey, is that Bob?
Is there a joke I missed?
Yeah, Bob the Golden Elite. Wasn't that him down there?
Well, we did have zealots in previous levels.
Oh no, that's not Bob. He has to be a ranger.
They're not going to be until Halo 2.
Damn. I wanted to see Bob again. 343, Halo 2 anniversary. Go!
Well, since you just mentioned it, I was curious about whether there'd ever... I'd sort of not looked into that subject for a while, so I got on the old internet, saw what people have been saying, and it's really not any more clear than it was pretty much last time anybody looked, whether they're actually going to do it.
It would be sweet.
So, my definition, up in the air, but looks like we're in agreement. I think it would be cool too, if just for the sake that the little details can get ironed out, like the
The brutes.
yes, the elites.
Brutes.
I've mentioned this before. I wouldn't mind if they actually made minor modifications to Halo 2, because it doesn't have, the campaign-wise, doesn't have nearly as that sentimental value. So
Maybe
if people made some changes that weren't just aesthetic, people probably wouldn't care.
Like,
I could be wrong in that regard, but
it'd be sweet if they added levels that Bungie intentionally wanted to put in the game.
yeah, I've heard that suggestion before. Though some of them people, I don't know how overreacting this might be. Some of them said that they would screw up the canon, putting some of them in. And then somebody pointed out, well, maybe so, but
It is an anniversary.
by this point you could see about modifying them so you get the core concept in, but not literally the exact verbatim.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a reason they get put in, because they didn't get finished in time.
exactly.
If they were
imagine
finished,
if
they would have been in.
Just imagine if Halo 2 was done the way Bungie wanted it to be.
Well, considering all the diaries and vlogs about what they wanted, it seemed like they didn't even really know. A lot of the time, they kind of went in over their head. They just wanted so much.
Well, they got a couple things in, like I remember the Juggernaut flood.
Yeah, isn't that in the code that just doesn't get used?
Yeah, there was no animations for it.
Oh, they just had the model.
Oh no, they had everything going. It's just they didn't have any animations for it.
So they had.
I mean, they did. They didn't have any fight animations or death animations.
Yeah,
but
I've actually seen a screenshot of somebody hacking it in. Since you can obviously hack in the model, you just can't do anything. Really.
You know how scary those things would have been?
Well, they got to bring it back with the Pure Flood. The Pure Forms in Halo 3.
Oh yeah, the Transformers.
Yeah, the tank, the ranger, and the stalker.
I think the only one that really pissed anyone off was the one that shot the needles.
Yeah, the rangers were annoying because the best thing to kill them was one of the 2 stick grenades. Or a sword, but they'd usually be too high on the wall.
Yeah.
Unless they were dumb enough and transformed on flat ground.
And a couple of them were just
The stalkers was the easiest because one melee could kill them.
Oh yeah.
Normal melee. The tanks were not too. If you could stick could you stick the tanks anywhere, or did you have to get it in the mouth?
I think it was anywhere.
Okay. Oh, I think what it is if the tank blocked your sword swipe with his arm, he wouldn't die. But if you hit him in the mouth, which is where the target was, like the lock on, then it would kill him instantly. Oh, this part's ending. Wait, no, not yet. It's the next hallway. Because there's 2 of these hallways that look identical. And then I realized there was no flood, so.
Wow, that elite thought you were coming out with a.
Thought I was coming at him with a plasma rifle.
Charges at you. Turns out you had a shotgun.
Yep. I usually let these kind of fights play out against the Covenant and the Flood, but it's kind of boring to watch, so. And I just got spawned from behind and almost died.
When in doubt, shotgun out.
Yeah, these are the only few levels where I use the plasma rifle, because there's plenty, and
it's pretty useful.
It's fairly useful. I'd only use it when there's plenty. When there's plenty available. The Flood don't give you enough to use it. It's easier to use the assault rifle if you.
Yeah.
Run!
I love the grunts. Why did they have to turn sinister?
Well, maybe this could make the storm more interesting. Maybe there's some maybe they do some sort of evil I know I'm being descriptive, sort of diabolical reprogramming. I think they should have capitalized on them.
Yeah, to see why they're.
The problem is they just failed to explain what their motivation was at all. Well, let me rephrase that. What their structure was.
Yeah.
What their structure was at all. I think it's obvious, but you have only a person who can really think of the idea would notice it. They're basically like a rogue nation.
Yeah.
More like a terrorist organization. There's a flood flew off. And if they had capitalized on it that they're basically a bunch of pirates for the most part, it would have been cool. Bye, Jackal.
Space pirates.
What is this, Metroid?
Maybe.
Hey, you know, that's just the reason they're still called space pirates is probably just because they haven't figured out what a name for them yet.
Probably.
I mean, it was simple just to call them that in the original old NES Super Nintendo, but they just never bothered to give them a name.
Yeah. Plus, they kind of are just just space pirates.
Well, I mean, not a species name.
Yeah, but they're a faction.
Yeah.
Name.
Actually, apparently in Metroid Prime 3, the Pirate Homeworld planet was, like I said. Oh, actually, I didn't mention this. If you see a lot of cuts, that's because I've died a lot on this level.
Oh, what were you going on about the Pirate Homeworld?
Yeah, apparently the Pirate Homeworld in Metroid Prime 3 was going to have a couple more log entries that addressed it by an actual name instead of just Pirate Homeworld. Something like Erdagross, which apparently means large bounty.
It would have been cool if they did that.
So there is the possibility that the pirate species is actually, let's see, what would be the something from Erdagross, if I'm pronouncing that right? Ertaganian? I don't know. I can't remember how it's spelled.
See, I wish that they'd make a new Metroid game, but yeah, Seals of Other M kind of not gonna make that happen.
I think they'll do it, but the problem is that they'll probably take a long time because Nintendo doesn't really use that series much. Bye bye.
Did he just kill himself?
Yeah, but okay. From a previous life, let's see how well this turned out. Because I tried to do something fancy. From a previous life, this happened. So let's see how this turns out. I screwed up.
It's
Yeah,
kaboom.
I screwed up. Well, the viewers will get to see what happened. If I hopefully get it right, but it's a mystery for you, LJ.
A mystery.
Alright, let's continue this next episode.
Next episode.